And breaking right now at 6 o'clock, the fight over closing private schools in Montgomery County intensifies.
As parents were rallying within the past hour, the county's top health official doubled down on his order to keep all schools closed. ABC 7 Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis joins us live now ahead of another rally on this issue. Kevin?
And Michelle, this is really the latest twist in this political tug of war between Montgomery County, Annapolis, and two sets of parents that have very different points of views. The health officer here in Montgomery County, Dr. Travis Gayles, he issued this new order within the last 20 minutes, effectively saying that all non-public schools here in the county cannot do any in-person learning until October 1st, and that would be at the very earliest. Parents and students gathered beside the Montgomery County Executive Building, upset with county leaders' attempts to ban private schools from conducting in-person learning.
Today, it has over 4,000 members.
Bethesda parent Bob Carey helped organize the rally.
These schools are following the CDC and state guidelines. If the county believes that those are inadequate, they need to describe why.
On Monday, Councilmember Andrew Friedson, whose district includes many private schools such as Landon, Bullis, and Holton Arms, sent a pointed letter to Health Officer Dr. Travis Gayles. It had a long list of questions, one being if daycare centers are allowed to operate, why not private schools?
We're continuing to evaluate the impact of the governor's executive order.
Today, Gayles told me daycare centers often have fewer students, and return to schools in other parts of the nation have been a disaster.
When we look across the country right now, there's countless and numerous examples of schools reopening, and they're having cases and having to close down.
No one is looking at the cost of not sending kids back to in-person education.
Although Governor Hogan overruled Gayles' order, Carey fears Montgomery County will return fire.
It appears clear to us that they have every intention of trying to figure out another way to close down the schools.
Well, Bob Carey's prediction turned out to be correct. No word what his group or Governor Hogan plan to do in response here. Again, this is all very fluid and happening in the present moment. Earlier this week, 6 families did file a federal lawsuit against Dr. Travis Gayles. We're live in downtown Rockville. I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
Kevin, thank you. And we'll, of course, let you know when Governor Hogan responds to that order, that new order. And 7's on your side tracking Montgomery County's back-to-school plan. Tomorrow, Montgomery County's school board will vote on all aspects of what it calls a recovery plan. And that includes how to address education for children with special needs. ABC 7 will, of course, track that meeting.
Neighbors Helping Neighbors, a local nonprofit, went into emergency response mode when the pandemic hit, but now they're busier than ever. Good morning, Washington's John Gonzalez is live in Rockville to show us what they're doing. Hey, John.
Ashley, good morning. Food pantries, donations have been so popular during this pandemic. We are inside the headquarters of So What Else here in Rockville, Maryland, a nonprofit organization that went from youth development, youth camps, to emergency response just days before Maryland shut things down back in March. Since then, So What Else has distributed close to 3 million meals. David Silbert, the founder and CEO, from this headquarters alone, David, you're talking 55,000 meals and a food pantry you've started, something you never imagined.
No, we never imagined. I mean, you know, the day that we realized that classes were going to be canceled, we knew that in order to, continue being on the front lines of this work, we were going to have to shift. So we contacted all of our communities, our 3,568 children, and we asked them what we could do during this time, during quarantine. And of course, these are all, high need communities. So we wanted to remain engaged and stay with them. And they all said, we're going to need the basic needs. So.
Well, show us what you've been getting as far as donations. Everything from non-perishable to, sporting gear, toys, diapers.
So we're collecting, as it stands right now, we're pretty much collecting everything except for large furniture because the logistics of that are just too tough. But we have toys, games.
Look at this. You got non-perishables here in the tubs. Show us that room real quick, David.
And as we move through this emergency, we've realized that single mothers, families are really struggling. So we got some help from the D.C. Diaper Bank recently, and we've been able to really get out diapers, 100 to 150 per child.
We're going to be with David all morning here with So What Else to talk about how they've completely shifted their mission, and they are helping so many families in the D.C. area. Reporting live in Rockville, John Gonzalez. Good morning, Washington.
You can't give back enough during these times.
So many people are in need.
They are.
Yeah.
A year ago this month, Virginia commemorated 400 years since the first enslaved people were brought to the colony. The Commonwealth pledged to confront that history.
And recently, widespread protests against racial injustice have only intensified that conversation. And tonight, Fairfax County Public Schools took part in a virtual town hall with the local NAACP chapter. New at 11, ABC 7's Heather Graff reports the school system made some stunning admissions on shortcomings when it comes to diversity and equity.
So these are the guests that are joining us from FCPS.
It's a conversation that's meant to be uncomfortable. A virtual town hall in which the Fairfax County NAACP is talking to the superintendent of Fairfax County Public Schools about systemic racism within the district.
I am serious as the leader of this system about taking us where we need to go. And I want to be a partner with the NAACP in doing that.
Did you set deadlines, Scott?
We have deadlines. Did I put a deadline? The deadline is tomorrow, next week, next month, this school year.
I mean, no, I'm really very serious. I think that every goal you put on there really needs to have an actual deadline.
NAACP leaders said some progress has been made, like 2 weeks ago when the school board voted to remove the name of Confederate leader Robert E. Lee from this high school in Springfield and replace it with that of civil rights leader John Lewis.
John Lewis High School, which is a great improvement.
But still, they believe much more needs to be done.
We already know that we have implicit bias. We already know that, all of us do. You have a largely white workforce.
In fact, Superintendent Dr. Scott Brabrand admitted 26 of the county's public schools have 0 black or brown teachers on their staff.
And that is a problem. It's not acceptable. But I am telling you, we're making significant efforts, and we're not going to have schools that continue not to hire teachers of color.
The NAACP says it's gone on for far too long.
If you become anti-racist, you will not have this problem.
And the time for change is now.
We're going to get it addressed this year.
Heather Graff, ABC 7 News.
As Heather mentioned, more than 24 schools in Fairfax County have no teachers of color. Quite stunning considering the district prides itself as one of the state's best, with 7 of the top 10 high schools in Virginia ranked by U.S. News and World Report. FCPS is the state's 3rd largest employer. On its job openings webpage, the first thing you see, even before you see the listings, is, quote, FCPS values diversity and is an equal opportunity employer, end quote. In the midst of the pandemic and economic downturn, small businesses have had to find unique ways to stay afloat. And one D.C. woman has not only been able to survive, but thrive during these times and bring other women with her. She's done it in part by becoming a viral sensation with Instagram posts like these. You're looking at them right there. And new tonight, ABC 7's Annalisa Gayles shows us the magic behind the Spice Suite.
This is our spice wall.
In Northwest D.C., there's a store that is temporarily closed but still open for business.
So in March, we closed just for the safety of myself, my family, my customers.
It's known as the Spice Suite, and it was started by D.C. native and former assistant principal Angel Gregorio in 2015.
The Spice Suite is not the place to come if you're looking for salt and pepper. We're the place to come when you're ready to have some fun. And it's been an amazing, colorful, flavorful journey.
She hasn't allowed COVID-19 to sour her business, instead choosing to change her business model in order to keep things going, selling boxes of her spices online.
We put a box online and they're gone in minutes.
And occasionally she offered customers the chance to pick up those spices at the door.
Like folks were driving from Atlanta, Ohio, here at 7 a.m. and we didn't start until 1.
She isn't just surviving, she's thriving thriving amid the pandemic.
And it's so humbling to know that I created something that people love.
With celebs also supporting her business along the way.
We've sent spice boxes to Kelly Rowland, Taraji Henson, Chef Carla Hall.
As she continues to support other entrepreneurs and women she calls Spice Girls.
I created what I'm calling like an Amazon for Black women. They are Black women business owners who have their own products that they hand make or uniquely source.
As the business continues to grow, Gregorio is now expanding her products, now offering beautiful handcrafted pieces like this one.
And these are handmade by a Black man.
In the wake of protests nationwide and a push to support Black-owned businesses during Black Business Month, she's also seeing an increase in new customers.
A lot of the traffic that we've been getting on Instagram and Facebook lately has been out of protest. So I appreciate that part of it. I just really want us to change our mindsets around how we view Black businesses and not like us being this default.
The Spice Suite will reopen to customers in person on September 11th.
3 Virginia teenagers have spent their summer working to help others, and now the lifelong friends are about to set out on a big hike. ABC 7's Caroline Patricus explains they'll be helping those with childhood cancer.
Joseph, Eric, and Lauren are just days away from setting out on a big mission.
It's just been amazing to have them do it with me.
The 14-year-old lifelong friends have spent their summer training and preparing for a 21-mile hike through West Virginia.
He's done like 11, 12-mile hikes in that mask.
But the journey is not just about fun and friendship. They're doing it to raise money for childhood cancer research.
I've lived with the side effects my entire life.
Because Joseph Camponi is a survivor of a rare childhood cancer.
Can't do much else but hike. Like I can't really run, The cancer, I was getting radiation and one of the stray beams hit my hip, ultimately destroying part of it.
Joseph has done the hike the last 2 years, but this will be the first time the 3 best friends will make the trek together.
I think it's just a feeling of, hey, we're actually doing something and we're putting in a notable amount and we're gonna actually go and help a kid that needs help.
So far, they've raised $12,000. All of the money goes to Cure Search, a national childhood cancer foundation. Big progress so far. Their next goal is likely only 42,000 steps away.
Footbridge now is being built to help some Calvert County families. Look at this. Look at that spanse right there and all the water. There was a bridge right there where cars could drive over. Well, now families are left stranded after Tuesday's storms washed their bridge away. Rushing water washed out the only road that led to their homes. SkyTrack 7 now shows that washed out road, and work now is still underway. And the supplies, equipment, and labor, you'll love this, all donated. ABC 7's Tom Rousey actually walked across what was left of that bridge. And Tom, how are things going tonight?
Well, pretty well, as you can see by the fact that they're out on the bridge here. I got Earl, one of the residents behind me. I saw him kiss the ground when he got to the other side, and he was only partially joking, I think. He was serious. So, yeah, for the first time since Tuesday, you can do this. This is the side where 15 people were stranded. This is the side they couldn't get to except basically by swimming. Now you can, and it's all thanks to donated labor, donated supplies. We got guys here with J. Keene Construction. You saw one of them a moment ago, and they helped build this afternoon. Here's video we took earlier when residents were very happy that they finally had a way out of their neighborhood. Of course, it was Tuesday. They had a bridge that's been here for many years. It was washed out during the storm. They're still not sure what they're going to do to replace that bridge, but the important thing was they needed a way out of the neighborhood, period. So this footbridge, the guys with J. Keene, they built it this afternoon relatively quickly. It's only taken them a few hours, and they're on their way to finishing here, and it gave these folks access to the other side. We talked to the construction company as well as one of the residents who expressed her gratitude.
We have been on the phone with the county all week trying to figure out how we can expedite a permanent solution. But in the meantime, they need a temporary solution. So we were trying to figure out what can we do to help them.
It seemed like such a small thing to most people, but to us, this is huge. We have a way out of here. It's kind of like having a little bit of hope that eventually the situation will be resolved. So I'm excited.
And where you are looking right there, that's a lot of the residents that have been stranded for several days. I even heard one person while they were still building the bridge say, it's going to be a thrill just to get the mail. And soon after they built this bridge, people walk by. It's a long walk because it's a long road off of Route 4 here. And they walked down and they got the mail for the first time in days. There's still some work to be done. They're putting up a handrail here as well, but by and large, this thing is finished and folks have a way out of their neighborhood once again here in Hunting Creek Farms. Reporting live in Huntingtown in Calvert County, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.